Hello everybody, welcome to my channel as the garden turns. So today is Thursday, and this is starting to be a day that I'm cooking things on. I didn't used to do things on Thursdays. It would be like the end of my week, and then my week would start on Friday. But he's been getting off pretty early on Thursdays now, so I'm probably going to be doing something on Thursdays. It may not always be like something spectacular or immaculate, I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for here. I don't think it was, but we just gonna go with that word. Okay, but we are going to be making some things on Thursdays now. So today I'm gonna be doing, this will be one video. We're gonna do 2 recipes today. So I'm gonna be making some homemade devil dogs. And when I say devil dogs, if you are not from New York, or like maybe, I guess, would that be an East Coast thing? You may not know what a devil dog is. I'm from St. Louis, and I didn't know, but it is sort of like a Suzy Q. It's like our Suzy Qs that we have here, that we used to have here. I think they're back now. But when Hostess was around, the Suzy Q is basically what the devil dog was. It's just some chocolate cakes with some nice marshmallow cream filling, which we're going to be making as well. So these are some chocolate cupcakes, not cupcakes, but see, when I say cakes, they're like little flat, like whoopie pie cakes with a cream filling. And we're going to be putting our cream, the cream that we put in ours is going to be marshmallow. So that's what we're going to be doing here today in this video. We're going to be making some chocolate devil dogs. So first, what we want to do is you're going to need a 1/4 cup of butter. And that's basically just 4 tablespoons. So it's half a stick of butter. So let's get that going here. Get that in your bowl. Okay, you're also going to need 1 egg that we want to get here in the bowl as well. Mr. Max is walking around. And you want these both to be room temp. And then you're also going to need a 1/4 cup of sugar. And then let's go ahead and add our vanilla as well. You need half a teaspoon of vanilla. And then we're going to cream all of this together here. Okay. Okay, next you want to add 1 cup of cake flour. And then you need a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. So we're also going to be doing some Chicago style hot dog egg rolls. So I'm just coming up with something. But I wanted some egg rolls, and I love Chicago dogs. So we're going to turn that into a egg roll. So that should be really nice. Let me check my list here. We got our flour, cocoa powder. You also are going to need a half teaspoon of salt. Okay, we had our butter, sugar, egg, vanilla, and we're going to blend this, and then we're going to add milk. So let's blend this together, and then we're going to add our milk. Okay, so now you need a half cup of milk. And since my milk wasn't room temp, because I just went to the store and bought some, we ran out of milk, that I put it in last. But if your milk is room temp, you can add it to your bowl when you're doing your liquids. So we want to blend this together. All right, now I'm going to scrape down the sides and make sure everything is mixed in. And this is a small batch recipe. So I'm starting to do most of my stuff small batch now because it's just me and him. And my family, my mom and my family members will come over and get the leftovers when I have them. But I'm starting to have less of them because I'm doing like smaller batch recipes. So, that's good for us, but not necessarily for them because they're not getting any of the leftovers. But, I got to do what I got to do, y'all. All right, so this is nice and mixed together. Now I'm going to put this in a bag for piping. So my husband is sleeping because he got up at like 12 o'clock well, that would have been in the morning, but was it before that? It may have been like 10 because I'm kind of loopy myself. And he leaves out now at like 10 p.m. and then he'll get back at like 9 a.m. and it's just kind of throwing us all off. We got to get used to this schedule. So he's in there sleeping now because he has a full day tomorrow. And then his Saturday now that he's supervising, they're usually really easy for him. So we just got to get through these couple days, get back on this, or get on the schedule that he's on now, and we should be fine. But right now, he is getting sleep deprived, so I let him sleep through the day. once we get to the store and come back. So I'm gonna get this all ready to be piped. You want to line your baking tray here with some parchment paper and put your oven at 350 degrees. Let me get this all cleaned up and then I'll be back to pipe our devil dogs. Okay, so I got a parchment lined baking tray. It don't look nice, but it's lined. And I'm gonna cut a notch here off of my bag. And then we're gonna try to pipe on our dogs. So they should look like hot dog buns. Okay. This bag is not right, so I'm gonna have to fix this because that is not how I want that to look. Okay, wait a second. I'm gonna repair that one. Let me fix my bag first. All right, let's go again. So I'm gonna fill this one in a little bit. You see what I did there? All right, so now I'm gonna place these in the oven at 350 degrees for about 15 to 18 minutes or until they're set. You should be able to touch them and they're set. So I'll let you see what they look like when they're done. Okay, so now I'm gonna make some icing here. So you're gonna need, that is the rest of that butter, 1/4 cup of butter, and you're gonna need about a 1/4 cup of marshmallow cream. But this is very sticky. Just a little bit more. It's about a 1/2 cup, about a 1/2 cup of marshmallow cream. Okay, then you're gonna need a teaspoon of vanilla. Let's cream this together and then we're gonna add our powdered sugar. Okay, now you want to add in a 1/2 cup at a time anyway of powdered sugar. So this is a 1/2 cup here. We're probably going to add about a cup. You want to mix this together. All right, let's add another 1/2 cup powdered sugar. Okay, so I'm going to add another 1/2 cup of powdered sugar, and then I'm going to add a couple tablespoons or 1 tablespoon of milk, just to thin it out just a little bit. Okay. Here's our finished icing here. Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna get this into a piping bag and we're just waiting on our cakes to come out and then we're gonna fill them with this nice marshmallow cream. Okay, so our chocolate cakes for our devil dogs are out of the oven. I'm gonna let these cool, and then we're gonna pipe in our marshmallow cream filling. Okay, so we're gonna make our Chicago dogs, egg rolls anyway. So I have some beef hot links here. I'm gonna get 4 of these out. I'm gonna get my skillet hot, and then we're gonna cook these to where they're nice, you know, have like a nice char to them. And then we're gonna put together our hot dogs. So I also have here some diced onion, and I'm gonna be adding a little bit of that to my skillet once we get our hot dogs nice and starting to brown. You can hear them starting to sizzle now. So I'm gonna get these browned, and then we're gonna roll our egg rolls. Okay, now I'm gonna add half of my onions. And then I also have some diced tomatoes here. I'm gonna add about a couple tablespoons. I'm gonna move this off of my heat and let this cool down a bit so we can wrap our hot dogs. Okay, so we're gonna wrap our hot dog. So I cut it in half here, my hot dog. I'm gonna put a little bit of extra onion on there, fresh onion. Put in a little bit of the tomato from our skillet here. You wanna add a little bit of pickle relish. Some mustard, yellow mustard. And then you wanna sprinkle on some celery salt. And then we're gonna wrap this. Okay, you wanna fold in your sides first. You need an egg wash. Go ahead and put there. Fold it. Fold it up. Seal. I wanna make sure I get around these edges too. All right, that is, we have 2 done. So there we go. So I'm gonna do another one. Cut that in half. A little bit of onion. You wanna get some of the onion and tomato from your skillet. A little bit of relish. Yellow mustard, celery salt. And I am not adding cheese because it is not a normal topping on a Chicago dog. And I didn't feel like making buns today, so that's why we're doing it this way. I didn't want to buy any of the store-bought buns because we had bought some a while back, and I just don't like buying the store-bought bread anymore. So I figured egg roll wrap would be the next best thing, you know. All right, so I'm gonna get the rest of these wrapped, and then we're gonna get them fried up. Okay, so our oil is hot. We're gonna fry up our hot dog egg rolls here. Chicago style dog egg rolls. I'm gonna let those fry, and then we're gonna take those out and do our last 4. Okay, so I'm gonna take these out. Golden brown. Then we're gonna add our last 4. Okay, y'all, so we are at the Greenwood Cemetery. As you can see, this is the first black cemetery in St. Louis. In Wellston. No, it wasn't Wellston, Hillsdale. Hillsdale. And Hillsdale was... I don't think so. Let's go back and look. But it was in 1874. And Hillsdale was founded by he was a reverend.
Yeah, Reverend John Barry Meacham.
Okay, tell me a little bit about.
So Reverend John Barry Meacham and his wife Mary Meacham were both influential abolitionists in St. Louis that worked to educate and free enslaved people. After purchasing their freedom, John founded the first African Baptist church in 1825. He also established a school in his basement because it was illegal for blacks to be educated. And they also had floating riverboats called floating freedom schools where they secretly educated black people. And he founded 7 small towns out here in this area. I think Hillsdale and maybe Velda City was another one. But yeah, so they were very influential. And also with the was it the Underground?
With his wife?
Yeah.
Well, they both were involved in the Underground Railroad
also, yeah.
And we're going to visit Mary Meacham Crossing today, and I'm going to tell you all a little bit about that too. But the Meachams were very influential in the St. Louis area. They helped with the Underground Railroad and a lot of the black causes around the area.
Park.
And then Meacham Park was named in their honor after they died.
Okay.
So Meacham Park was a community in Kirkwood that is no longer there, but there was a black community in Kirkwood.
Right.
And they tore it down and built Walmart.
There's a Walmart there.
So when you see that Kirkwood, that big plaza out there in Kirkwood with the Sams and all of that, that was Meacham Park.
Yep. Black neighborhood.
And it was in Kirkwood, so.
And it was annexed by Kirkwood, I think.
This is Dred Scott's wife's grave.
Right. Right here.
Right here. You just walk right up to. I love the thing they built there. They have a little chair here. Wow.
1876.
Civil rights pioneer, courageous wife of Dred Scott, mother to Eliza and Lizzie, and co-petitioner with Dred for their family's freedom in St. Louis, Missouri. Their cases were combined and resulted in the U.S. Supreme Court Dred Scott decision, March 6, 1857. They were denied freedom by the court as well as personhood. They were freed by Taylor Blow on May 26, 1857. Their case was a catalyst for the Civil War, after which slavery was ended in these United States. She was born 1820, died June 17, 1876.
56.
Then I came along 100 years later.
Yeah.
But yeah, Greenwood Cemetery.
She was actually a slave.
Yeah, she was a slave.
Literally.
She was a slave.
A physically a slave. That's just chilling to know that this person lies here that was owned by someone.
Which would be most of the people that's buried here, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all, so I've mashed up my devil dog cakes here, and I'm gonna cut the little corner here off of my bag. Throw that in the trash. And then you want to pipe on your filling here. And we have 4. Right. Now you want to put it on your top cake. Smash that down. Y'all, here are our finished Copycat Devil Dogs with marshmallow cream filling. Let me pick one of these bad boys up. Look good, don't it? Homemade devil dogs. Okay, so I'm gonna serve up dinner. So I made some mustard and relish dipping sauce, and I'm gonna give us each 2 of these, because that's 1 hot dog, Chicago style hot dog egg rolls. And then I'm gonna give us some fries. We don't need too much. This is what we're gonna be having for dinner tonight. And then let me get our dessert here. I'm gonna put this down. And for dessert, y'all, we got these homemade devil dogs. Chocolate cake, little chocolate finger cakes with marshmallow cream icing. All right, y'all, this is what we are having for dessert and dinner. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe.